We'll begin from the nation's capital, where the meeting of the National Economic Council has ended with a resolution to consider negotiating a new minimum wage for workers. There were also interventions introduced to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal, but state governments will play a significant role this time to ensure the palliative measures cascade to the poor and vulnerable of the society. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde has details.
Finally, there is a plan on how the federal government intends to cushion the immediate hardship caused by the removal of subsidy on petroleum products. But this time, the subnationals are expected to step up to the plate and drive the interventions that will give succor to the poor and vulnerable. At the end of the 6-hour-long National Economic Council meeting, the governors reeled out the immediate, medium and long-term intervention plans.
Each state should begin to plan towards implementing a cash transfer program that will be based on their social register of the states. We also talked about ensuring that we paid our public servants outstanding liabilities, whichever way, if it's their pension, if it's their gratuities, if it's their leave bonuses, and so on and so forth.
There is a magnitude to which you're pumping money into the system, and then inflation even gets higher. Exchange rate depreciates the more, and the more the exchange rate depreciates, the more there will be pressure for pump price of fuel to also rise. So, Council is fully aware of all this. We're juggling many balls in the air.
The federal government is also responding to all threats to food security and the need to push down rising food prices. At the National Economic Council, they directed the release of foodstuff from the National Grain Reserve to poor households already groaning from the spike in food prices.
NEMA, with the CBN, and indeed with the Ministry of Agri. And we have some buffer stock that is already there with NEMA, and the Council has directed the states will be allocated immediately substantial portion of food items, grains, and so on and so forth for distribution so that the prices of foodstuff will come down.
But on the brighter side, the National Economic Council was pleased with the news of an increase in revenue generated by the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
It was nice to know that they are ahead of their target for half year, and we expect that before or by the time the year ends, they would exceed. He also gave us some idea of what next year should be like.
Now the 3 tiers of government will share the burden to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal. They must also work in time and establish a social register that is truly reflective of the poor and vulnerable. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
It's been live from Abuja. Will these new resolutions require any further ratification by the president?
Yes, Nifemi, the president would also have to give his approval, but that will not be done in a formal ceremony. We know that the vice president will take the recommendations from the National Economic Council to Mr. President, and he will give his nod. You know that the vice president presides over the National Economic Council, and well, everything that happens in the National Economic Council, the president is also fully briefed on it. So we expect that the president will be carried along. It will be brought into the picture of all of these recommendations made by the National Economic Council. But, eventually the buck still stops on the table of the president. So don't expect any bureaucratic in the implementation or the deployment of these palliatives that the National Economic Council has recommended and resolved. There should be a way out to cushion the impact of the removal of your subsidy.
From negotiating the minimum wage to conditional cash transfer using the social register at the state's level, there are about 6 items on this list. Were the governors forthcoming as to the real time that all these issues will be implemented across board?
Well, the timeline we're getting is in immediate effect. That is what they are saying for the short-term intervention plan. there to begin with immediate effect. So we expect that as soon as the governors leave Abuja, return to their states, they will also sit with their state executive council to begin to come up with modalities and plans on how this whole intervention or palliatives, as some people would like to call it, will be implemented, how it would be cascaded to reach the poorest of the poor, people who are in dire need of all of this, the most vulnerable.
Femako, they're live for us in Abuja.